On this edition of This Week in the NPSL, CD Aguiluchos has its eye on the Golden Gate Conference crown, and they travel to the East Bay looking for the clinching 3 points. We'll tell you how they did. In the Northeast, two of the top teams in the Atlantic Whites square off in Hartford for a thriller Saturday night. In the Midwest, AFC Ann Arbor sits atop the Great Lakes Conference, but Lansing United is breathing down their necks. Could they gain ground on them Friday? We'll show you the highlights. And in the South, New Orleans and Georgia square off in the Crescent City. Those highlights and much more on This Week in the NPSL. Next. Hi everyone, and welcome inside our studios for the latest episode of This Week in the NPSL. I'm your host Paul Boron, and we will start the show out west, where CD Aguiluchos has been the class of the West. On Saturday night, they had a chance to claim the conference title, but would have to beat a gritty Stompers club to do so. Ricardo Guerra opens the scoring for Aguiluchos just before halftime with a drive into the penalty area that makes it 1-0 in the 41st minute. It's Guerra again in the 57th minute, cleaning up a mess in front of the Stompers' goal for a 2-0 lead. In the 76th minute, Jorge Butron scores his second goal in as many games to cut the Aguiluchos lead to 2-1. But despite some spectacular late-game saves by Stompers keeper Marcos Rojas to keep the game close, CD Aguiluchos comes away with the 3 points and clinches the top spot in the Golden Gate Conference. Let's go to Riverside Chorus FC against Temecula FC. 8th minute, and Temecula gets a foul, and it sets up a cross to Steve Lamberta, a nice header into the net, and it's a 1-0 lead just 8 minutes into the game. It's starting to appear like another upset for Riverside Chorus. We go to the 85th minute. Cody Shelton gets fouled near the outside box, creating an opportunity for a set play. Alfredo Tapia takes a cross that goes untouched into the net with the equalizer. Riverside now looking to conclude the improbable comeback. They get the nice through ball from Alfredo Tapia to newcomer Nick Escalante. He's attacking the box, and Temecula's keeper, after a good save, swings his elbow into Escalante's face for a straight red card and a penalty kick in the 93rd minute. Shane Shelton takes the penalty kick and drills the game winner, a dramatic ending as Riverside stays unbeaten at home and remains in second place in the Southwest. Elsewhere in the West, Kitsap gets a stoppage time goal from Ryan Hill for a 3-2 win. FC Arizona gets a pair from Cesar Mejia Casillas in a 7-0 victory, while Kyle Morris and Eric Espinosa each score for the Shadow. So Riverside Chorus now within 1 point of FC Arizona in a tightly contested Southwest Conference. You see Orange County FC, thanks to their 5-1 victory, is just 4 points back. In the Golden Gate Conference, CD Aguiluchos has as many points as the next 3 teams combined, but that also means the battle for second is a tight one. And in the Northwest, PDX FC was idle, which gave Spokane Soccer Club and Kitsap Soccer Club a chance to get right behind them with their victories. When we return to This Week in the NPSL, we head to the Northeast, where we will see the top 3 teams in the Atlantic White in action, including highlights of a thriller in Central Connecticut. That's when we return.
Keep up to date on NPSL with scores, schedules, stats, and exclusive content on NPSL.com. Visit NPSL.com to browse our dedicated ticket platform, read up on NPSL Spotlight, and view the latest episode of This Week in the NPSL.
Early on this season, the Atlantic White appears to be a fierce battle for supremacy, with 4 teams all within a point of each other atop the conference. 2 of those teams, Kingston Stockade FC and Hartford City FC, met Saturday night. Stockade get on the board first. Eric Fortier powers home a volley driven from Juan Gotti. 36th minute, Hartford City, Sebastian Stazuski intercepts the ball from the Stockade. He passes the ball to Ryan Taylor to create some space. Taylor delivers the service into the box for Luke Alvaro to finish the job, and we're tied at 1. Felipe Mendez delivers a ball into the box in the 37th minute. Luke Alvaro is in the right place to deliver the perfect header, and it's 2-1 Hartford City. In the 45th minute, Stockade answer Victor Guerma scores on his debut with a beauty from the top of the box. In the second half, a couple of chances. Here's Luke Alvaro delivering a long throw all the way into the box. The ball is loose and a shot is taken, hitting the post. Then on the attack, Stockade attempts a shot from the right side of the box. It misses, going over the crossbar, and the two teams have to settle for a 2-2 draw. Boston City and Seacoast United Mariners, and Jonata Batista curls a perfect finish in the top corner from 20 yards out to give Boston City the lead after 17 minutes. Then Batista turns provider after 20 minutes as he whips a low cross that is met by Kevin Herrera, who collided with the goalkeeper but gets the goal, and it's 2-0. Isaac Nana Adai split the Seacoast defense with a perfect pass to Herrera to beat the offside trap, claim his second goal of the game 7 minutes into the second half, and it is 3-0. After 65 minutes, a defensive mix-up by the hosts and a turnover, and the Mariners take advantage. Thomas Urquhart buries a loose ball in an empty net past keeper Anthony Ferrara. 9 minutes later, slick passing move, Herrera and Adai again opening up the Seacoast defense for Batista to slot at home his second of the game and Boston City's fourth of the match. They aren't done yet. 5 minutes remaining. Boston City right back Michael Rincon. One possession on his own half and a swift counterattack again played through to Herrera and Adai, ended with Rincon racing 60 yards to finish the move he started. The Lions hit their sixth as Adai, who was involved in all 6 goals, provided his 4th assist, and Batista beats the advancing goalkeeper to seal his hat trick. Let's go to Electric City Shock against Greater Binghamton FC, and after giving up a 23rd minute goal, Binghamton answers 2 minutes later when Alex Varkaitis clipped in a ball for Mike Root to fire past Brian Ehrlich. Electric City had a few chances to retake the lead in the first half. Brandon Smalley did well to get a shot off here, but a save by Tyler Elliott. Shock kept the pressure on in the second half. Smalley rounds Elliott but can't cut the ball across. Smalley again, a few minutes later, plays a through ball to Victor Weaver, who has his shot deflected off of the crossbar. On the ensuing corner, the ball finds Steve Golding at the back of the box. He'll play it back across. It'll eventually fall to Weaver, who finds the back of the net for his second goal of the game. Late in the game, Xavi Gladiador finds Smalley on the wing, who beats a defender and slots it home to secure the 3-1 road win for Electric City. Elsewhere, Bucksmont gets a 79th minute game winner from Tyler Smith, and FC Frederick gets 3 second half goals, including Graham Guidry's game winner in their victory. So in that Mid-Atlantic Conference, Virginia Beach City FC got a 3-1 win on Thursday night, which vaults them to the top spot in the conference. In the Atlantic Blue, Elm City Express still holds its 4-point lead over Brooklyn. We told you how tight things are atop the Atlantic White. And in the Keystone Conference, Electric City's road win gets them to within 2 points of Westchester United. When we come back on This Week in the NPSL, we will head to the Midwest, where we will look in on the defending NPSL champions AFC Cleveland, who are reeling after a rough weekend. Highlights of their home showdown with Erie Commodores is next.
MITRE is the official ball supplier of the National Premier Soccer League. Visit www.mitre-usa.com for more information. That's www.mitre-usa.com.
Welcome back to This Week in the NPSL. It's time to move to the Midwest, where AFC Cleveland, the defending champions, will be happy to put Memorial Day weekend in their rearview mirror. On Friday, they fell 1-0 at Dayton, and things didn't get much better at home Sunday against Erie. This one was a contentious match from the get-go, but in the 4th minute, Michael Derazic is taken down from behind and is shown a straight red for retaliation. Great opportunity for Erie off the corner kick, but Anthony Flowers comes up with a great save. In the 50th minute, the Erie Commodores finally break through against a 10-man AFC Cleveland team. Great through pass to Ezana Kasha for the goal. 65th minute, Ashley Phillips is given Erie's 3rd yellow card in the match after taking down Vinnie Bell in the box. AFC Cleveland is awarded a penalty kick, and Admir Suljevic is able to bury the penalty kick to bring the match level. But Paul Bracken in stoppage time gives Erie the breakthrough. And AFC Cleveland gets one last chance later in stoppage time, but this shot is stopped by Jorge Brendis. Detroit City FC playing Glentoran FC, and the fans from Detroit City FC certainly fired up even when it's just a friendly. Detroit City FC goalkeeper Colin Miller comes out of the box to challenge John McGuinn. Diving header on a 1v1, and defender Omar Sinclair tracks back to concede the corner kick. Later in the match, Detroit City's Tyler Moorman earning a penalty kick for Detroit. Jeff Adkins takes the penalty kick, but is saved by Glentoran FC goalkeeper Dwayne Nelson. Fast forward, and Detroit City FC's Tyler Moorman does get a goal this time. It is 1-0 Detroit City, and they go on to the victory in the friendly. Lansing United chasing at AFC Ann Arbor. In the 3rd minute, Rafa Mensingun beats TJ Tomaso to give Lansing the early lead. 27th minute, Tumi Moshobani is fouled inside the box, earning a penalty kick for Lansing. 28th minute, captain James DeCosimo has his penalty kick stopped by TJ Tomaso. In the 77th minute, AFC Ann Arbor with a corner, saved by Joe White to keep it 1-0. 88th minute, and it's Mensingun with his 2nd goal of the game and his 5th goal of the season. The Hoops move to just 3 points out of 1st place with 2 matches in hand. Elsewhere in the Midwest on Friday, Hartrick Tarr's 70th minute goal was a winner for Dakota Fusion FC. Meanwhile, FC Indiana's Brock Exline scores and leads the team to their first victory of the season, while Matthew Kimkoff scores for Dayton in the 2nd of their 2 1-0 victories over the weekend. So AFC Ann Arbor was able to bounce back from their Friday loss with a holiday victory on Monday, so they lead the Great Lakes, but Lansing United is right there, while Grand Rapids' win on Friday moves them into 3rd. And in the North, Dakota Fusion FC stays undefeated and sits 2 points ahead of Med City, while Duluth's convincing win moves them into 3rd. We are not done yet. When we come back, we will check out highlights from the South, where Georgia was hoping for a revolution in the Big Easy. Highlights from the Southeast Conference are next.
SoccerStub is the official ticket provider of the NPSL and powers the league ticket platform. Support live local soccer by visiting www.tickets.npsl.com to find tickets to NPSL matches near you directly from NPSL teams.
Welcome back to This Week in the NPSL. I'm your host, Paul Boron, and it's time to head south, where New Orleans and Georgia are in opposite divisions and headed in opposite directions. New Orleans hasn't lost in regulation this season, while Georgia has yet to taste victory. Would that change Saturday night? Let's find out. The two teams playing under a crescent moon in the Crescent City, and New Orleans Jesters score first. Tony Giudice with a Goal of the Year candidate off of the beautiful volley far corner in the 13th minute. It's 1-0 Jesters. Second half, Georgia pressing, and New Orleans will counter. Ryan Reed on the 2-on-1 elects to take the shot. Carson Oakes makes the big save for Georgia. In stoppage time, Rolando Sanchez hits the crossbar. That would have been an insurance goal, but Georgia's still alive on the last play of the match. Everyone forward, including the keeper, but the long ball is handled easily, and New Orleans wins it 1-0. FC Carolina hosting Asheville City Soccer Club, and the host team gets on the board early. Fabricio Barankoski scores, and it's 1-0 FC Carolina United. But back comes Asheville, and more specifically, back comes Elma Nfor in the 5th minute, scoring. And then just a minute later, he does so again, and Asheville has taken the 2-1 lead. But in the 62nd minute, Junior Nyem equalizes the game with this goal, and it's 2-2. Then Nyem with a penalty kick opportunity, and it's no good, and that would prove costly, because in the 66th minute, it's Nfor again. He's got the hat trick, and Asheville City gets the 3-2 victory. Interestingly enough, everyone who scored in this game plays at Wingate University. And we'll have more on Nfor in just a moment. Elsewhere in the South, Abukar Diallo scored 2 first-half goals in Demise NPSL's first win of the season. 2 first-half tallies propels the Silverbacks over Nashville, while Cesar Tajaro scores the lone goal in Miami United's win. and Leonardo Perez posts a hat trick as FC Wichita wins a thriller 4-3. So here's how things are shaping up in the South. Miami Fusion FC's win gives them separation over Jacksonville as they both continue to chase Miami United FC. In the Heartland, FC Wichita's exciting home win over Ozark FC has them in first, while in the Lone Star, Midland Odessa's win over Fort Worth moves them into a tie for first with the Vaqueros. And in the Southeast, the Atlanta Silverbacks win over Knoxville has them atop the conference, while Inter Nashville FC gets a draw to move to 8 points. We will stay in the South for our MITRE Player of the Week, and it is Elma Nfor of Asheville City Soccer Club. Nfor notched a hat trick last weekend against FC Carolina. The native of Cameroon plays at Wingate University, where he majors in human services and where he was part of a team that won the NCAA Division II National Championship. So congratulations to Nfor on being our MITRE Player of the Week, and he is part of a team that is now just a point out of first in the Southeast Conference. So things are certainly getting exciting all around, and again, congratulations once again to CD Aguiluchos on clinching the Golden Gate Conference this past weekend. Well, that's going to do it for our time here this week. Remember to get more on the NPSL on Twitter at NPSL Soccer, and you can follow me at pboron88. That's all for this week. We'll see you next week right here on This Week in the NPSL.